And we are live. Feel free to hit that like button. And just want to remind everybody, when you're buying a new construction home in Florida, particularly Central Florida, you want to stay away from EXP Alliance Group, any EXP agent in Orlando. Stay away from EXP and stay away from BRIJE in Rolling Hills, Florida. Pretty simple. Just stay away from EXP agents in Florida and don't buy any home that's built by BRIJE, new construction in Rolling Hills, Florida, and you won't get hurt, okay? In Rolling Hills, Florida, and in Marion Oaks, Florida, they've got new construction homes, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1-car garage going for $225. The construction of that home is no different than the luxury home for $700,000. It's the same quality. It's just a smaller home. That's all. So don't be overwhelmed by the ceiling fans, by the fancy lights that are hanging in the kitchen, by the nice sink, and the beautiful hot and cold water fixtures. Don't be overwhelmed by the interior of the house, because those appliances are no different than other ones. They might have spent a little bit more on that sink and a little bit more on the hot and cold water faucet. They might have put some hanging lights that were a little bit more expensive, but it's all disco. It's all for eye candy to get you to buy that house. And that's something that you have to be wary of. You can buy a house and add the ceiling fans that you want. You can add the kitchen lights that you want. You can do things like that. You can change out the faucets if you wish. But it's important to get the lowest price possible on that house. And you've got to be careful because these houses are built cheap. They're just 2x4 and plywood construction. At the end of the day, they're not worth the money you're paying for them, and they're hard to resell. So once you buy a home, new construction home, anywhere around Orlando, anywhere around Ocala, you're going to be stuck with it. You're not going to be able to resell it for any type of profit. You're going to have to live in it or rent it. Okay, so if you're a first-time homeowner or a second time trying to get going, or you're moving from up north down here, you know, you don't want to sink your money into something that you can't get rid of in case you want to get rid of it. And that's something you need to think about. Anytime you buy a home, don't think of it as a forever home. Think beyond that. Look around, see if there's other people selling their homes that have just moved into the area. Look and see, especially in Marion Oaks right now, you've got to be careful. Everybody's hooked up to public water and everybody has their own septic tank, okay? And it's a recipe for disaster. And some of the areas are hooked up to well water and septic tanks, and they're built too close together. There's some houses that are in Rolling Hills, Florida. It was deed restricted. They're supposed to be minimal 1 acre per house, yet in one particular area, somebody was able to put 3 houses on 1 acre. Okay, and they're all tightly close together. There's no privacy, and everybody's got a well, and everybody's got a septic tank, and it's a recipe for disaster. Okay, eventually in Marion Oaks, because of the overpopulation and the fact that they keep building homes and they've actually developed their own infrastructure with the roads and the runoff and the drainage systems and the drainage fields and the leach fields for the septic tanks. It's all man-made. It's all floating underground in a heavy rainstorm. And what's going to happen is, unfortunately, unbeknownst to new homeowners in Marion Oaks especially, they're going to be slapped with a wastewater treatment bill to help pay for the wastewater treatment plants that are going to be coming in the future. It happens to every municipality that gets overwhelmed like it is. It doesn't meet federal standards to have it set up like this. At some point, they're going to make them build wastewater treatment plants. And that's something that everyone needs to realize when you're buying a new home in Marion Oaks, Florida, or any other community that has public water and septic tanks for each home. You've got to remember, at some point, you're going to be hooked up to public wastewater. If you're hooked up to public water, at some point, the county that you live in is going to make you hook up to public wastewater. And that's Florida. That's the way it is. And it's a little secret that they don't want to tell you. Developers don't want to tell you that they don't have to do it. It has to reach a certain plateau. And Marion Oaks has reached that plateau on both sides of 484, where it's now overbuilt. They're all hooked up to public water, and now there's going to be a wastewater treatment plant on both sides of the highway to service. How many houses are there? I think there might be 250, and they keep building. It's crazy. Go look at Marion Oaks. Go look at Rolling Hills. Go look all around Ocala. They're cutting down all the trees. Deforestation, completely stripping the land, putting all the trees in a pile and burning them, and slapping together houses. And they're all built by people from outside this country. It's amazing. It's crazy. Anyways, moving right along. You can hit the thumbs up if you'd like. Make any kind of weird comment you want. Make all kinds of weird comments. Anything you want. It's funny stuff. Whatever you want to do. Make all kinds of weird, funny comments. Say funny things. Make ridicule and joke. Call me names or whatever. Make innuendos. It's cool. I like it. If it makes you feel better, make fun of me, man. That's what I'm for. I'm the joker. I'm the fool. I like it when people make fun of me. It's just cool stuff. I like it. I enjoy being the class clown. I enjoy people throwing rocks at me and making fun of me. I like it when people say I can't do it. It's just so hilarious. It's expected. I like it when the toughest guy picks on me, and nobody will stand up to him, and I have to take care of it myself, because it's always the tough's got to take on the little guy, that makes him feel better for a second. Oops, I dropped the camera for a second too. Hey, did you see that? Technical difficulty here. Uh-oh. Look at this. You got Blue Man over there. Joker. That guy. Yeah, just stay away from EXP Alliance Group Orlando agents. Stay away from anybody associated with EXP. You got to do it, man. Life's pretty good. Just don't buy a house with an EXP agent, and don't buy a house from BRIJE in Florida, and you'll be cool. That's what it's all about. I'm your real estate advisor. I'm your EXP real estate advisor. Warning, buyer beware. Official. If it wasn't for me, there's a lot of new buyers coming to Florida. They're going to end up using an EXP agent in Orlando, and they're going to get screwed. So now everybody's going to go with Berkshire Hathaway, Remax, Keller Williams, Coldwell Banker. Everybody's going to remember what Mikey said. Disabled veteran, Central Florida. I'm telling you for your own good. You don't need to use EXP agents. And you don't need to buy a house for BRIJE Realty in Rolling Hills, Florida. You don't need to. There's plenty of better houses, better quality than BRIJE, and there's way better honest agents that speak clear English, okay, that you can understand on the phone and in person, and you share a common ground with, okay? You got to be careful. For the rest of my life, as long as I live, no matter how much money I have, I will always remember the terrible experiences I have with anyone. And you always think everything's going to get better in your life, and then the next asshole comes along. Well, let me tell you something. I ran into two negative people. Just two people. They're both from the Orlando area. One's an EXP agent. The other one is the builder, owner of BRIJE. Only two people. And their inspector, of course. I should have said three people. So the agent from EXP and the builder seller, BRIJE, and the realtor's friend, who happened to be the inspector on a brand new construction home, they managed to take advantage of a disabled veteran. Hardcore. And they really took me for a lot of money. They destroyed my future, and they really tried to end my life, basically. They basically tried to end my entire future. They tried to ruin my existence. Believe me. EXP, Alliance Group, and BRIJE went on the worst possible track that you could possibly imagine to go after a little guy, a disabled veteran. You would never think in a million years in America that an EXP agent and a builder contractor from the BRIJE company, BRIJE, new construction, Rolling Hills, Florida, and EXP Alliance Group in Orlando, you would never think that in today's society that they would take advantage of a disabled veteran. But they will, and they don't care. They don't care. And warranties are useless. Okay? And if you're going to buy a home, don't trust your real estate agent. Don't trust the builder. Don't trust the seller. And don't trust the inspectors. You've got to find other people. You've got to find other people. You've got to find other people out there. I know there's a lot of people out there that are just crazy people, agitators, you know, just people that are just sitting, your whole lives have been spent in front of a computer, in front of a phone. Your eyes don't work very well because you don't go outside and look at sunlight. There's a lot of isolated people in this world that live isolated lives. And they have really, really white skin because they stay in the house all day. They live miserable lives. They don't know they don't have any personal hygiene habits, and they're embarrassed by the way they look. They lack self-confidence, and they spend a lot of time on YouTube, and they have weird names, and they have aliases, and this is their kick. You know, a lot of people have a lot of issues, mental illness. They're socially deprived. They don't go out. They don't have any money. They're forced to live with their parents or an uncle or a grandparent, or they're homeless and all they have is a phone. They have no entertainment, whatsoever. So they just get on all kinds of channels and make crazy comments and random comments and just outrageous stuff. And it's funny, and I enjoy it because I hope that I'm therapeutic in some capacity to people that enjoy just saying weird stuff. You don't even know. It could be a 8-year-old. It could be a 50-year-old man sitting in jail. It could be a 31-year-old divorced woman at home who just got beat up by her husband, and she's locked up in a room. She's having a bad day, so she takes it out on me. You don't know who these people are. They're just making all these weird comments on YouTube. It doesn't matter, I'm just sitting here doing nothing, I enjoy it. I enjoy it. It all depends on you. It all depends on you. Jerry Lewis. You could be happy. You could be sad. You could be glad. You could be mad. It all depends on you. We need your donations. We need your help. We have children who see a better light. We're not asking for too much. Just donate now. The future is bright. It all depends on you. You remember Jerry Lewis telethons? We gotta have it. It all depends on you, baby. Yeah, I'm selling my house, moving out of here, completely out of here, moving hundreds of miles away. That's the thing about Florida. Florida's like 800 miles long, man. If you go from the Alabama Florida border up in the way extreme northwest corner and you go all the way down to Key West, that's like 800 miles. If you go from Key West to Jacksonville, that's like 650 miles, man. It's a long state. Trust me. Miami to Jacksonville is like 510 miles. Florida is a big state. It's a long state. It's a wide state. To go from Tallahassee to Daytona is a long drive. To go from Daytona to Miami is a long drive. Okay? It ain't. Okay? Florida's big. It ain't as big as California, but it's big. It's big. It's big. And northern Florida is totally different from southern Florida, as is central Florida, East Coast, West Coast. It's all different. The people are different. I can tell you that right now. Oh, I can tell you that for sure. I know that for a fact. Oh, there's some inbred, stupid people up here in Ocala area. Just absolutely one-eyed jacks, man, running around here on drugs and alcohol. Absolutely dumbed down people, man. There are a lot of old retirees around Ocala. Oh my gosh. They're driving around on Alzheimer's drugs. It's funny. It's really sad. It'll motivate you to stay in shape, man. Come to Ocala. Come to Ocala. Okay? You got anybody that's under 50, okay? If you're out of shape, okay, you don't feel like working out, you don't think you can do, you don't have, come to Ocala and go to the Publix supermarket right by Top of the World, right by Marion Oaks. Go to Publix, go to Walmart's, go to Lowe's, go to Home Depot. Just hang out for a week. Go to all these places. Go to local breakfast. Okay, and drive around. Look at the people on golf carts. Look at the people that are still driving, unfortunately, and look at the people that are still independent. Okay, and barely able to get around in a scooter and do whatever. And it'll motivate you. It'll motivate you and kick you in the ass. It'll give you a wake-up call to say, hey, man, I don't want to end up like that. I don't want to get old. I don't want to get old and die. I want to be independent. I want to be sane. I want to keep my mind right, you know. And I've got a long ways to go. I'm a hypocrite. But I'll tell you what, every time I go to Winn-Dixie or Publix or Walmart's, it scares the shit out of me. It scares the shit out of me, folks. It's like The Walking Dead. And I'm like, holy cow. And so I put a little extra step in my gip every morning, you know. I push that shopping cart a little bit faster in the morning. I go, damn, man. This guy over here is, I don't want to, when I find myself bending over on a shopping cart and leaning too much, man, I'm like, oh, wait a minute. You know, you got to keep, it's important to keep yourself fit. Keep that core strong, you know? You got to do what you got to do. Pain keeps you alive.